Hey, hi, how are you? Here's an alarming figure. The cost of mental illnesses to the economy is estimated at over $50 billion annually, with $20 billion of that stemming directly from workplace losses. Oh, by the way, that's Canada. Yes, little old Canada. So we need to talk about one of the biggest contributors to that, something that many of us struggle with, and that's leaving work behind when you're supposed to be on vacation or time off. Yeah, on vacation. Now, it's becoming darn near impossible to disconnect from work. So let's look at 5 problems and some practical ways that you can achieve work-life balance during your vacation. I also suggest you stick around throughout the video because I'm going to have some bonus tips salted throughout and one big one at the end. Disconnecting from work while on vacation. It's pretty tough. And so you ask yourself, why is it important to leave work at work when you're on vacation? Now, it should be painfully obvious. Taking a break from work has numerous benefits for our mental and physical well-being. It helps reduce stress levels. It prevents burnout. It improves productivity upon your return and enhances our overall happiness and satisfaction. Another thing to consider is it can contribute to your longevity because it provides an interruption in that stress that work generates. I had a boss that used to say, "You are nothing more than a bouquet of flowers and a sympathy card." In other words, if you drop dead, you'll be replaced. Thanks for the tip, Murray. So let's look at some practical steps that you can take to get rid of all of this, to deal with all of this, and to start creating your vacation space. And so what you need to do is create your vacation space early. You need to start by setting clear boundaries with your work community before you leave for vacation. You need to communicate your unavailability and make it abundantly clear that you will not be responding to work-related messages or emails during that time. I used to think that colleagues during meetings when they were saying, "I will not be responding to emails or phone calls at all," I thought they were kind of self-centered. But really and truthfully, I was wrong. Now, the next thing is you want to let your externals know, let your clients know that you're not going to be there and for how long. And then let your team know. By setting these boundaries in advance, you establish expectations and you create a space and an opportunity for yourself to rest and recover. So you need to be clear. You're not answering emails or phone calls. Not at all. So this brings us to problem 2. What about my work, my projects? Great, you're owning your work. It's a fading quality these days. However, you need to start disengaging. You need to start creating that space and start doing things about it. You need to plan ahead. By this, I mean, the moment that you submit your vacation, the moment you're approved for vacation, you need to start planning ahead. You need to start delegating. I know it's extra work to take time off, but that's extra work well spent. You need to complete essential assignments and figure out how you can schedule low points in your projects to coincide with your time away. Very first thing you want to do is create a handoff process and think of a trusted team member. If you're a manager, and this is a bonus tip, see if you can get one of your fellow managers to run interference for your team during your absence. It's going to help, especially if you have a complex team. Read into that whatever you want. Now, the next thing you do is consider a temporary team lead. Like I said, if you're a manager, you should be, first off, informing your team. If you have a bunch of colleagues that you work with, inform them as well as part of your team that you work with. But if you're a manager, do you have a senior team member that you can create or you can get to lead things while you're gone? And now, if not, stick to the previous point and give it to another manager. Beyond all of this, what you need to do is create a detailed handoff document detailing who's going to look after what. If you have projects that need certain deliverables and you can hand them off, make sure all of that is contained in this document. Knowing that things are taken care of will provide you peace of mind during your vacation, and it'll reduce the chance of you having to clean up a hot mess on your return. You got to get across a point, and that point is pretty simple. Don't call me. Plain and simple. Don't call me. Oh, we're really knocking them off, aren't we? Problem number 3. What about people not knowing you're away? It's pretty simple. You're away. You're out of office. Okay, set up some auto replies. Set up an auto reply email that you can have a message indicating your absence, the dates you'll be on vacation, and time you'll be away. This provides you that ability to manage expectations and prevents unnecessary interruptions. But beyond that, with that auto reply, you want to make sure there's an alternate contact, whether it's, hey, call switchboard, call the main office, call whoever. But people need to know who to contact and who to reach out to in your absence. Another thing to consider is ensure that there's an alternate contact for and an alternate message for externals. People need to know who to contact and who to reach out to. And the other thing is you have to realize that externals are part of your bread and butter a lot of times. They're clients, they're project managers, etc. And it's important that you get through to them. Remember that handoff document I talked about where you're going to detail and delegate who's going to handle certain things in your absence? This is where it comes in handy. You have to remember, you're out of office. Stay that way. Like I said at the beginning, it's darn near impossible to disconnect. It used to be just the phone, then it was email. Now it's Slack, Teams, Meet, and other options to connect. So this brings us to number 4. Work keeps bugging me. Work keeps bugging me. Well, that's a pretty simple solution, isn't it? Can you leave work at the office? It's fairly simple. If you can leave your work device at work, then great, do that. If you can leave your work phone at work, do that. If you can, and please leave your work laptop at work. Now, if you can't, well, what you need to do is turn off notifications. Disable, maybe it's your personal phone that you have as well. Maybe they're both your work phone and your personal phone. Disable work-related notifications on your phone. Say, for instance, you have Microsoft Teams or Google Meet or Slack or any of those applications. Disable their notifications on the phone so that you're not getting disturbed. Here's a pro tip. If you're self-employed, make sure that you use apps specifically for family and recreation purposes and then disable all the other messaging apps. Now, the next thing beyond that is resist the urge to go looking. And that's what happens. I've seen it time and time again. In fact, I had a colleague who said that they ran into problems on vacation and their wife got mad at them because they were bored. So what did they do? They turned on their phone to see what was going on at work. Resist that. Okay, constant notifications can make it tempting and make it challenging to resist the urge to check in, but don't. Turning them off gives you that opportunity to focus and enjoy time off without distractions. Remember this, you cannot answer what you cannot hear and you cannot see. And so, great. This brings us to yet another problem that we all go through. We can't mentally disengage. And for obvious reasons, work is an important part of our lives. We spend 1/3 of our lives at work. So we have a natural tendency to bring it with us. We do. It's not unusual. It makes perfect sense. But what you need to do is mentally disengage. You need to first off make the effort to focus on the current time and space. You need to engage on activities that are conducive and complement your vacation. So in other words, if you are going to some of the beautiful places around Canada, like I'm talking Lake Louise or Moraine Lake or anything else like that, then focus on hiking. Don't focus on looking at your phone. If you're going to the beach, enjoy the beach. If you're going to a resort, look at the activities that are at the resort. Okay? Consider also activities that require focus, like golfing or etc. Now, the thing is, going for a hike or simply spending quality time with your loved ones is going to make that relaxation and that recovery so much more. Prioritize activities that bring you joy and they help you to mentally disconnect from work. If you're having a staycation, look at things that you can focus on that do take some effort to focus. Things like gardening, home improvement, do-it-yourself projects, etc. Try to even get out of the city and go to somewhere close by, somewhere that's different. Create that different downtime focus. Now, if you're on vacation, whatever you do, consider like not looking at something electronic. Read a book, not a tablet, because it's going to be so easy to say, well, I'll just go to the company website or I'll go to company webmail. Do something that you don't associate with work. In fact, here's the message. It's pretty simple. Leave work at work. It's simple to say, but difficult to do. That's the honest to goodness truth. Here we are. Now, the last tip I wanted to provide you with, and this is a valuable one. I learned, and the hard way actually, when you're planning a time off, take the day off before your trip and the day after as well. if you can. It'll help with things like jet lag and the added stress of coming back to work, knowing that you're going to be back at work in just a few hours from your vacation. Do yourself a favor if you can and do that. Remember, it's essential to take care of your mental and physical well-being by disconnecting from work during your vacation. Embrace that time off and the opportunity to enjoy your time off with family and create cherished memories. Don't be the corporate robot. Lead by example, in fact. You don't have to be a manager, a supervisor, or anything special. All you need to do is walk the walk if you're going to talk the talk, even if it's taking time off properly. Be a safety leader. Be a safety influencer. Provoke safety, and that includes mental health and safety. Okay? Take care and have an awesome summer.